Hello, everyone. So I'm trying. Excuse me. Oh, there it is. Nice, just in case. I'm using a different setup. And this. Oof. Can you see me? Ow. There you go. Now you can see me less. That was weird. Um, I was at work today and I was like, I kind of want to do something. For some reason, I thought of 100 quotes, and then I have 100 more quotes. Maybe it was because even a stop clock is. I think the quote in the book is being right is highly overrated because even a stopped clock is right twice a day. Um, this is on my TV. This looks closer than it does on my laptop. And I'm a little uncomfortable with how close this is, but that's fine. Hey Eve, how are you doing? That's weird. Oh snap! You popped up on my TV before you popped up on my laptop. Anyway, that's why I turned my TV on. So because my laptop is all the way over here, and I didn't want to have to look like this, so I was like, "Oh, I'll turn on my TV because it's there." Anyway, um, so I thought about the book, and I was like, "Oh, like I want to just pull around, like get a quote, and then I'll pull around it." And so I have 5 pairs of dice. So originally I was gonna look and try to find that 100 quotes or 100 more quotes, but then I ended up finding this 100 facts series, and apparently I have ones about the world. So we're gonna learn a little bit. You're good. I'm glad to hear it. My day was pretty good. Um, I feel like the days wax more and more interesting. It's also interesting, like, because I didn't necessarily think that the one issue that I was having at work, I didn't think it would necessarily be resolved necessarily. And so now it's like I don't even know what to expect when I go into work, which is nice. It's nice to not have like that disturbance in the vibes. You know what I mean? So I'm a little tired. I had a dream last night. It was interesting. I had a dream that I went to eat with somebody and I was back on campus. And then my little brother was on campus and I was like, oh, well, I'll go eat with you. But anyway, I had a dream that I had a place and it was kind of messy. It almost looked like um, not abandoned because it wasn't like super dusty and cobwebby, but there were like things all over the place. And I was like, I remember I had walked in there a few times. And then in the last time I was in there, I was like, I kind of want my own place. And then I was like, wait, like, this is my place. Like, what? And then I was like, oh, I could, like, it'd be really cute if I did this, or I could, like, move these and do this other thing. And I guess it was interesting that I was, like, already in the space. And I was like, I kind of want my own space. And then I was like, wait, I'm already here. I already have this space. How you doing, Holly? Oh, dinner sounds good. I kind of like, I'm thinking of what I want to eat. But anyway, so I was going to do the quotes. Now we're going to learn potentially. And it's going to be a choose or pick if you want to choose or pick. I'm going to keep track of the timestamps, which I don't think I can get runtime here. No, I can't, which is fine. Um, but I have a D8 to determine how many of these I'm going to do. I have a D6 because I have 6 decks. I have a D4 to get 1 to 4 cards. I have, and then 2 D10s, or the D100, I guess, to choose which random world fact we're going to do. You're having cilantro lime shrimp tonight. You got me at cilantro, you kind of lose me at lime, and you sort of have me at shrimp. So I'm interested to see. I feel like that's tasty, though. Lime to me, for whatever reason, it tastes like pine sol. Like the taste of lime reminds me of like a floor cleaner. So I can't get behind it. Even though like pine sol is what, lemon, it's not even lime. So I don't know why my brain goes there. But anyway, we're gonna learn a little bit. This is gonna be interesting. We're gonna see if anything is relevant or resonant or whatever. So I'm gonna start with the D8 first to see how many of these I'm gonna do. 4, which is not bad. This could have been really short or fairly long. I'm gonna open up a new. You see that? Okay, because I feel like whenever I tell other people, they don't necessarily get it. They kind of look at me. Well, one person asked me, I think there's another taste thing, but it's pretty popular. I think it might be around cilantro, where it tastes like something, or people can't taste cilantro or something. And I was like, I don't have that thing. I feel like lime tastes like pine sol. So we got 4 thingies. I'm gonna do the timestamps on this sticky note first. Cilantro repeats on you. Like, is the video repeating? I'm still like looking over here. It's fine. So I have 4. I'm not going to use this again. So the first one, we're going to say she starts at 640. I'm going to roll the 2d10s, I guess the d100. Some people just can't do cilantro. You like the freshness of it. I don't think I've had it too much, but I don't think I'll mind it. 5. Wow. Okay. So we're gonna start with number 5 for 1. You can pick one. I'll do 3. I'm picking one right now. It gives you gas. Oh, okay. um. So number 5, we're talking about the Sphinx, I guess. There you go. It says a giant man lion protects the pyramids. The Great Sphinx is a huge statue of a half man, half lion that guards the pyramids at Giza, Egypt. It probably shows the dead king Khafre as a man with the fearsome power of a lion. The Sphinx is so old that sand blowing in the wind has rubbed away detail of the lion's body and parts of Khafre's face. I don't know how to pronounce it. The Great Sphinx was carved from stone over 4,500 years ago. So for the first one, you're coming out with something that like most of us probably already know, which is cool. Now let's see how many cards. 4 cards. Oof, 5, 4. Let's see if the number 3 comes out from the third deck. So 3 did come out. 5, 4, 3, which is interesting. Oh, that's that's really interesting for reasons that I could say, but I shall not. The third deck is the Little Lion Strider Tarot. I kind of sort of pulled the ones that I had in the top drawer. And then I was like, oh, I want to use these because I like this deck, but I don't have it in the larger thing. I'm going to. Can you see my TV if I do this? No? Kinda. Okay, that's fine. This is so weird. All right. I got to use it for these little cards. Oh, okay. Well, don't even let me decide. The first card out is the 7 of Swords, which is interesting because we're immediately going Tomb Raider or Grave Robber for this. A giant man lion protects the pyramids, so it's protecting the pyramids from the 7 of Swords. I kind of want to half man, half lion. I'm gonna have to put some little thingies in here. So the first one is already out. So 2 is the man half, 3 is the lion half. 4 is erosion, even though this one is already here. But we'll see. So the man, oh, that was quick. The man is the 9 of Pentacles. The lion, these cards are like ready to go. Hello? Oh, okay. Well, we're going to have more than 4, which is fine. Temperance is the lion. On 2 cards fell out on top of the 9 of Pentacles, and they are the Star and the Hierophant. So 2 majors fell out face down when Temperance came out on top of the 9 of Pentacles. So I'm going to keep it that way. This almost makes me think of, it was one of the kings of the underworld. Was it Radamanthus? Or was it Aeacus? It might have been. Which one? I think it was the second one I did. Or was it Minos? It was one of the kings of the underworld. And it talked about how now I'm getting confused. But Temperance came out symbolizing like what the kingdom was before the king inherited it. It was like the legacy of the king that came before that king. And I don't think that was Minos, because Minos was all about the Minotaur, the bull, the thing that he received from the gods to sacrifice that he didn't sacrifice. So then Greco-Roman gods played Greco-Roman god tricks, and his wife was smitten by a bull. I don't think it might have been the same bull. And she gave birth to the Minotaur. And in order to keep his shame a secret, he had Daedalus probably build the labyrinth under his palace, and he put the Minotaur in the labyrinth. And every so often they sent 7 boys and 7 girls as a sacrifice to the labyrinth for the Minotaur. And then that's when we get into Ariadne and Theseus. Was Theseus the one that slew the Minotaur? And Ariadne was the daughter of Minos, and she helped Theseus slay the Minotaur and get. Okay, I'm like tangenting hard, but it's not that. It was the one where Temperance popped up in that one. I don't even remember all of it. Tis a shame. And then the last one is the erosion, and immediately the 6 of Pentacles comes out in reverse. There you go. With the Ace of Cups. I feel like this is brighter than usual, but that's fine. With the Ace of Cups at the bottom of the deck. I feel like this is going to be a bit more challenging than I thought it would be. A man with the fearsome power of a lion. Oh. So the fearsome power of the lion is temperance. There's a strength energy here, but it reminds me of the strength in the After Tarot, where the lion, or the strength card in, what is it? The Witch's Tarot. It's one of those strength cards where the lion and the person are friends, where they're buddy buddy and they're like cuddling together instead of like the person wrestling the lion. And it feels like, so it's interesting that again, temperance comes out as the strength of the lion, and the man is the 9 of Pentacles. So this energy is very imperturbable. And so it makes the Seven of Swords then feel like distractions in the environment around the person, around you, I guess. I'll just say you for each pile. There's 4 of them. Timestamps will be in the description box after I do this, after it finishes. Um, and so the Seven of Swords, it feels like an environmental energy that would come and try to like disturb someone. And then when Temperance came out as the fearsome nature of the beast, the 2 cards that fell out face down on top of that Nine of Pentacles, it's the Hierophant and the Star. So there's something here. This, it reads as like being the person. The word that comes to mind is receptacle for divinity in some way, for the love of the divine, for the steadfastness, for the stability and the stillness of like tranquility type of energy. And so it's like you would be the type of person that it's like as you hold that frequency and vibration of insert blank here, it just like naturally radiates out from you. And with the Hierophant and the Star, that's what gives this like an elevated divine energy, because it feels like for as much light as the Hierophant can bring, the Hierophant also comes with its fair amount of darkness and shadow. But with the Star being here, it's like it's only the light of the Hierophant. It's the Hierophant in its highest light. And it's coming out again under the Nine of Pentacles. So this is that like imperturbable, undisturbable. Oh, snap. And we got the bear. I immediately think of Tatanka, which is interesting because Tatanka wasn't the bear. I never remember the bear's name. The bear and the Hierophant with the 2 keys. But now it's almost reading like Spirit Bear, you know? Oh, snap. I got a little pyramid. Because there's the 7 of Swords, and then the 9 of Pentacles and Temperance, and then the Hierophant, or the Hierophant, the Star, 6 of Pentacles in reverse. Excuse me? I don't have to put. How do I put this on Do Not Disturb? Rude. I have it on Do Not Disturb. Why are you ringing? Hello? Oh, I can do that. There we go. And then the reason why, so it comes to my mind as it reads as, or I receive, I hear receptacle of the divine in whatever way. But it's one that pours out, and that's coming through in the 6 of Pentacles in reverse. Interestingly enough, the 6 of Pentacles in reverse, it's feeling like giving. Because usually in that dynamic, we're usually positioned to receive from the divine. And so this is like, with it being in reverse, it's like instead of it receiving, it's giving. And it's, I wouldn't read it as giving to the divine. Maybe in some like not necessarily weird way, there are things that the divine learns about the experience through us, not to be sacrilegious in any way, but it's almost like how God had to send Jesus in order to like find out what life on earth was like really like. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure there were several reasons why Jesus came, one of them being to like die for our sins and free us from inequity and stuff like that, right? But it also kind of has the energy of like being a heavenly angelic separated from the realm being. You don't necessarily get the full tea on the experience. It's almost like when we're watching movies and TV shows or any kind of media, sports, it's like, why don't you do this, do this, do that? No, the person is right there. But if we were like the person in that situation, when we are the person in that situation, then we're not necessarily doing the things that we would be yelling at the screen for the person to do. Because being in it, it's a different experience. And so I guess maybe the divine is learning through you in some way. I mean, I'm sure like if we all have universal witness within us, then yes, we are all pieces of the all. So yes. Um, but it also feels like with the six of pentacles in reverse to the seven of swords, there's also an energy here of something that cannot be taken. Wisdom cannot be taken. It can't be stolen. Even if you read a book, you can gain knowledge, but you can't gain wisdom through that way. I don't know. This is interesting. I feel like I should go deeper with this, but and the Ace of Cups is here at the bottom of the deck. The Ace of Cups being the Ace of Essences, or just the Ace of Cups. It's the realm of connection in general. Oh, this could be opening up to higher connections and communications with the divine. It could be seeing behind the veil, but it's like behind the veil of it feels like the behind the veil of reality, like not seeing beyond the veil in the terms of like seeing spirits and connecting with galactic beings and stuff like that. It feels more uh like a deeper empathy too, like being able to connect to people on a deeper level to the point where there are things that you just sort of like know and or feel about them, which is a thing that we can already do, especially some people already have that gift and ability to really be able to read people. um but I don't know, it feels like it's more earth veil and less celestial cosmic veil. I didn't even look at the seven of swords. There's some weird like smoky cloudy. mm. See that thing about how it can't be stolen or how it can't be taken? It feels like that's in this. It feels like this person stole the swords. They took the swords thinking that they got the thing or whatever, but the thing is actually still in the mist. It's still in the clouds. It's still shrouded. Maybe not necessarily like understood. Oh, snap. I can see it better in the TV. So there's a fight back there. There's a whole battle. I see a knight with a sword raised. I see the tents with the flag. Why can't I see it like that in real life? So that then gives this another layer. So that exposes again, it's that element of tranquility. So then this would be the person who sort of like makes it out of the fight. It's like, I'm not going to do that anymore. Like, all of the chaos and confusion in the back, it's like it's cutting out. And it almost feels like there's a face up here. Like this is the face with some hair. And so, oh snap! Hey, kizzy cat, how you doing, Kirsty? And so it feels like there's a spirit of that place, and the Hierophant is here. But that's like that light shadow, light dark battle in Hierophantic energy, where you have the priest and the demon. And again, it's like with the star, it's distilling or purifying or getting to that higher hierophant energy, and it's out of that. I didn't necessarily think I'd see strength or I'd see temperance as a fearsome energy. But for this, for everything, all of this confusion and stuff in the back with that Seven of Swords, it is. Because temperance refuses to participate in all of that. That's what makes it strong. Which again, it goes back to that imperturbability. And was that on the Hierophant? That brings some aspect of the divine out of hibernation. Out of hibernation in a way that maybe we could never necessarily fully latch on to because of everything that happened in said world and environment from the beginning. So that was cool. La, 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 la. The Hierophant. I love that. It's very Hierophant energy. Okay. Where did I put the box? Here's the box. I'll just set these here for now because maybe I'll use them again. So, the second one. I'm going to timestamp this here because that, oh, maybe not. I'll timestamp it after I actually get the thing. No, I'll timestamp it here. So, the second one, I'm going to say 2650. 2650. 20 was just on the table. You're gonna get. I'll see what 20 is. We're not gonna read it fully, but we'll see. 20 is. Hello, where is 20? Oh. So King Kashyapa inside a lion. So here we have more lion man energy. The lion's mouth gate to Sigiriya has gone, but the two giant lions' paws remain. So the front, like the paws of the lion. This is the 20. That's the picture. Oof, maybe I will take out. The Sri Lankan king's mountain fortress was known as Sigiriya. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm doing my best. Or lion's mouth, because it could only be reached by climbing through well-guarded gates carved in the shape of a lion's gaping jaw. His fortress was on a small plateau made by an ancient volcano, 180 meters above the plain view. And it's interesting because, well, I guess that would more so be inside of the pyramid than inside of the Sphinx. Okay. That's there. Maybe check out the first one. I don't know. I could go further, but I won't. Makes you think of Lionsgate. Oh, snap. It is very Lionsgate. Sri Lanka, Sirius B. 30. Okay, from 20 to 30. Let's go. How many cards? One card from the second deck. The second deck is the Mystical Shaman Oracle cards. But it's only going to be one. So let me put these back inside. I'll keep them out for now. Let me find 30. Let's see if we learn something new. A giant Buddha sits in the world's biggest wooden building. Oh, okay. So y'all coming out with Big Buddha. That is, oops. The Tadaiji Buddha promises peace after conflict. Each finger is over 1 meter long. Promising peace after conflict. 30 is the Hangman. The wooden Todaiji. Oh, it's in Japan, so Todaiji. The wooden Todaiji temple in Japan is 57 meters long, 50 meters wide, and 47 meters high, but used to be even bigger. For almost 1,500 years, it has been the home of a giant bronze Buddha statue made from 130 tons of bronze and leafed in 130 kilograms of gold. I wonder I wonder if this is the Buddha statue from there's an anime called Dr. Stone. And in Dr. Stone, um, it's like something happens and thousands of years. Oh, snap. Hold up. Oh, I'm not going to read. Oh, wait. I already read that one. They find a Buddha statue. And he used the bronze in the statue to do something. I don't remember. And they're like, this is sacrilegious. You can't do that to the Buddha. And he's like, we're literally re-jump starting human civilization from scratch, because like thousands of years had passed and the earth had taken over everything. Every man, woman, and child was stone because of some mysterious green light that happened. Um, oh, this is 1, 2, 3. One card from the second deck, and it's fact number 30. So come through consecutive numbers. I guess technically it's 3, 2, 1 because it's 30 and then 2 and then 1. So, but anyway, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. You had such a comfortable feeling the whole time watching it. Like she really knew my Black Swan. Oh yeah, I saw the community post that she made talking about the dream that she had. It's interesting because I guess in some way the community post she shared about the dream that she had reminds me of the first one, about how, especially when it came out, like the Seven of Swords read like distractions and disturbances in the environment, and how number one had like this internal peace that was unperturbable. And because of that, they were able to connect more deeply with the divine, and they were able to bring out certain aspects of that relationship with divinity. And they ended up being a receptacle and a distributor of a dealer, a dealer of divine energy. We're dealing high vibes over here, or whoever is one. So I'm only getting one card. Maybe I'll read the book. I don't have the book, so I guess I won't read the book. I mean, I have the book, but I don't have access to the book. So the one card about the giant Buddha and Todaiji. Ooh. The owl is the card that came out. The curse is at the bottom of the deck. This makes me think of the mentor in the Wild Unknown Archetypes, and I almost grabbed that deck. I'll grab. Oh, I can't because this thing is in the way. If I grab it, the tripod is right there, so I can't grab it. Sorry. Thanks, Holly. Enjoy dinner. Hopefully, you don't have too much cilantro. um, this was the one about the big Buddha. There are so many numbers in this. There are a bunch of numbers here. It's also interesting that so far, not every fact is associated with the picture, but so far, because like you can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 facts on this page, but only 3 pictures, right? That looks like a terracotta army. in the Great Wall of China. Um, Splendors of the East. But anyway, Japanese tombs are shaped like keyholes. Sorry. A giant Buddha sits in the world's biggest wooden building. Did I even read that part? The world's biggest wooden building. The wooden Todaiji temple in Japan is 57 meters long, which is a 12. 39 is a 12. And they're both threes, and 30 is the 3. 50 meters wide, which is the 5, and 47 meters high, which was an 11. But used to be even bigger. For almost 1,500 years, it has been the home of a giant bronze Buddha statue made from 130 tons of bronze and leafed in 130 kilograms of gold. 130 and 130. See, this feels like almost Mulan in the sense of, because it feels like there's a spirit that rests inside of the statue. And the eyes of that spirit is this owl. And so it feels Mulan in the sense, because I read that Mulan's ancestors, there's that one ancestor that they're like, oh, like she's going out to do that, like get this ancestor. Go to, I think it was like the lion. Was it the lion? Was it the lion statue in Mulan that housed the spirit of the great ancestor? I think it was. I think it was a lion statue. Can't get away from lions today, which is fine. Love a Leo. Love Leo energy. Um, but I read that there was a theory that the reason why when Mushu went to go and like wake the spirit up and it wasn't there is because the spirit dwelled inside of Mulan. And the spirit of her ancestor gave her the courage to go and do all of the things that she did. And for some reason, it feels like that there was something else that it's very similar. Um, that was a bird. Well, it's different. It's another anime. It's Black Clover. Uh, but honestly, so maybe like for this one, I would say look into your ancestry. If you are a religious and or spiritual person, um, religious or spiritual, like if there's a deity that you connect with or a faith that you have, then it might be a benefit for you to learn that energy for yourself. Because with the curse here, it just reads as like things that aren't to be spoken in a way of like the energy itself will like tell you or release that information. It's very like blocked in a sacred kind of way. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to get in trouble, but any energy anywhere. Um, and it is a little shapeshiftery too, because this owl feels like a man. It feels like there's a person under here, but when they put on the hood of the owl, they become the owl, so they can fly. And then when they take it off, they become the man again. Um, and I guess it's different, but it's similar along the lines of like the spirit that dwells within, right? Like there's a man behind the owl when he lifts his hood. So the spirit of that owl is the man. There's the spirit of the Buddha inside of the statue. There was the spirit of the ancestor inside of the lion statue in Mulan that Mushu destroyed. And I guess in that too, sacred block, we've probably all experienced. Yeah, I respect them. I'm like, thank you for letting me know. I respect this energy, and I'm gonna keep it moving. Um, but also too, it feels like that ancestor would have already been active before Mushu even went to wake it up. Because it's like if the spirit of the ancestor did dwell within the statue, then when Mushu broke it, we would have seen the spirit come out, but we didn't see that. This is interesting. This is a very, so far, they've both been very interesting. And they've carried higher energy than I expected when I sat down. um, but yeah, I'm just going to hold these two up. And with everything that I've already talked about, here, take it in as it resonates for you. I'm going to try to hold fairly still so it'll like focus. Oh, snap. Look, they even have I don't want to say they have the same eyes, but they're both like looking. That's interesting. That's very intriguing. Okay, so next, I'll set this deck here. So the third one, I'm going to say the third one starts at, if I can say the third one starts at 42 minutes. So first, we're going to go for the quote. Things seen and not spoken. $48. 42 minutes, number 48. Let's see. Well, I'll get the deck first. I'm going to use number 1. Number 1 is the Spirit Keeper's Tarot, the 3rd edition, Revelations. Reminds you of savoring some insights for yourself. It's yeah. And I guess with the spirit breaking free, I don't know. That's for whoever that's for. There may be choices and decisions that need to be made. There would probably be some kind of influence as to a particular direction, but at the end of the day, we all live our own lives and experiences, and we make our own choices sometimes. One card. So one card from the Spirit Keeper's Tarot. I'm actually going to get the card first, and then I'm going to read the fact. I want to get it face down, though. 1148 or 4811. Oh, 1 and 1 is a Cindy Math 2. So number 3. Let's see if you see if we just go more and more and more into the forbidden lands of one's soul. Oh, and it's face down. Love it. Exactly. Well, you got 2 cards, and I'm going to keep both of them because it looked like one card when it fell on the table face down. Oh, I did say 1 and 1 is a Cindy Math 2. So Cindy Math got you an extra card. Number 48. Let's see if you get a picture too, like the other ones. There's 41, 46, 48. I don't know if you get a picture. Where are my glasses? Amazing Animals. Christmas Island. I think you look. I'm pretty is if this is Christmas Island, you literally got the whole picture. Like the background picture. On Christmas Island, well, I guess I'll show you the picture first. That's it. I think it's like the whole thing, like the background image. On Christmas Island in the Indian Ocean, the ground turns red twice a year. Red forest living crabs migrate in huge swarms to the seashore, where their eggs are laid all at once. Then their tiny young return after a few months as larvae. Red crabs have to dip in the sea after their long walk to save themselves from drying out. So yeah, y'all get all these little tiny red crabs, which is Cancerian energy. You could be a Cancer or connected to a Cancer. I didn't squeeze it out, Eve. It fell out. It came out by itself. It dropped on the table. Oh, a little crabby. You can be a little crabby. Let's see. I'll flip them both at the same. Actually, I want to have a sub timestamp. We'll do 3-1 and 3-2. 3-1 is going to be 46:30. And then 3-2 is going to be another one. Choose. You can pick one or two, or you can do both. It's your life. You can pick all four of these. You can watch every single thing. So one is going to be on the D6 side. What number is that? Number 9. It's supposed to be a 6, but it's a 9. Well, the line means it's still a 6, so you can figure that out on your own. And then the other one is going to be 2. That should be 2, right? Oh, no, what's at the top? 2. Oh, 2 is at the top, so I guess I was still right. And so the D4 side I'm going to do first. How does this work? Hello? Hey, Vicky, how's it going? So I'm going to redo this timestamp. This is interesting. We'll see what happens. I'll say 47:25. So I'm doing number 2 first. Darn it, I'll just go in order. It's fine. It's fine. So the D6. Oh, we have the Destroyer, which is the 10 of Swords. Sun and Gemini. So I wasn't necessarily expecting this energy, but here it is. Well, I guess this could be an energy of like needing to break out of a shell. I feel like this would be for someone because it's a feminine energy purifying, destroying, it's the destroyer, a masculine energy. And so it almost reads as like if your self defense mechanism is to be extra sort of like pushy and aggressive and to emulate what like an alpha male would sort of do, like it kind of reads like that. And so there's a need to like soften up. And it's interesting because I was watching Queen Cup's last live video. And at one point, she talked about how there are people who are like anatomically psycho. I think psychopaths are born, sociopaths are made, and narcissists exist in between. But you can like for some people it's a physiological thing, it's anatomical. And she was talking about how there are people who aren't like that but they become like that because the people that they view as successful or the people that they view as having power, like that's how they are. So someone who isn't like that adopts that as a means to accomplish or get something done. And it feels like that's this energy here, where it's like it's a need to come out of that. Oh, that's what I was talking about. But when she was talking about it, it made me think of my boss. Because she did seem cool, but she also seemed like she had some stuff. It seemed like she was riddled with insecurity and was just like projecting all over the place. And it was just like, okay. But it did kind of make me feel bad. I was like, oh, well. It's almost like becoming, I don't want to say the oppressor, but I guess I'll say it that way. Becoming the energy that oppressed or suppressed or repressed you in whatever way is not necessarily going to be the solution to moving past that energy. And it's interesting because with the fact being about the breeding ground, it's almost like every person that first person interacted with, not every single person, but it plants the seed of like this is like, well, if they did it and they got away with it, then I can do it and I can be where they are, or I can have the power and control that they have. And it feels like from that one person it kind of proliferates. And then if we become that person that someone else was, then we cause other people to become that person. And it creates this sort of chain separation within people. And like the people who are already like that are going to be like that regardless. They don't need inspiration. You know what I mean? You're a dictator energy at the communal bins. And I think it's actually like you can get a lot more done. You can go a lot further with softer energy too. What's at the bottom of the deck? The bottom of the deck is the initiate, and it's the spirit in search of experience. This feels like a wall. It's like if you continue down that pathway, you're going to hit a point where you can't get any further. I think there's also something here too, because of the snake coiled around. Hello? Why is it blurry on my TV? Okay. Because of the snake coiled around that sword, it feels like these swords are actually like extracting the poison in a way. This reminds me of these drums and this whole thing. It reminds me of so many times I've been playing a game or watching a show, and there's a lightning sort of ability person, and they have this thing around them and the little things on it. This doesn't have the little things on it, and they have the drums. So that it makes me think of Wakinyan and Tatanka, speaking of Tatanka, and how her gift to humanity was that she blessed the drum. So if you play the steady beat, whatever your element, whatever your dissatisfaction, well, not dissatisfaction, distress, whatever your element, whatever your distress, it'll be relieved. And it doesn't even necessarily feel super external. It feels like there's a point within self where you just like, maybe it becomes too much. It's like, because it's not who you are, it doesn't vibe with you. And so it causes some kind of internal distress to be that. And it feels like it's reaching that point within self where it's just like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be like this. I don't know if it involves like, I don't know. I don't know. But I think it's a lot of times when we see successful people, or especially when we see people who are like more on the extreme side of success, it comes with a certain, I would say, ruthlessness, but style of operation or whatever, of like treating people and stuff like that. And maybe you are to be someone who's very counter or very opposite of that. Maybe you're meant to be the person that shows people that authenticity and kindness and compassion can get you just as far, if not further. And so then your compassion breeds compassion, and that compassion breeds more compassion and more compassion as more and more and more people come in contact with us and come in contact with the people who have been in contact with us, who have been impacted by us. That impact spreads and multiplies just like the negative one does. And so it becomes, or it participates in sort of changing that narrative, the counterflow, the counterbalance, the shifting of the scales. And maybe the first part of that doesn't resonate with you at all. And you're just going to be the one who sort of like shows that, again, like that kindness, that compassion, that good vibes. Because I can't think, I feel like kindness and compassion, like they sum it up. Authenticity and integrity, kindness, compassion, integrity, and authenticity. Like you're gonna be one of the people who show that like you can be all of that and be successful. You can be all that and be fulfilled. You can be all that and be like happy. You don't have to adopt um, a mentality of using and taking advantage of people and anything that we would have typically associated with. If you want to be successful, then you gotta have to be okay with doing this because it's shifting, it's changing, it's moving forward into the new. And it seems like you may be a part of that. So thank you, because that's a world I would very much so like to live in. Because I don't mind working, I don't mind the corporate experience necessarily, but it's like the petty games and the like stuff like that. I'm just like, ew. I'm glad I don't have to deal with that anymore. Goodness. Um, but yeah, anyway, that's cool. That's softer than I thought it would be. It does remind me of Muriel, Angel of Cancer, though. Either one. And Muriel, Angel of Cancer, talks about how we grow. It's important that we like protect ourselves and we shield ourselves, but it's equally as important for us to be vulnerable and to connect with other people. And so Cancerian, the crab, it's both the sword and the shield, are both the shield and the sword. Because we're used to the hermit crab being like, that protective, isolate, retreat, iron defenses, but um, maybe the sword and shield isn't. It's equally as important to be vulnerable and to have those connections as it is for you to be tough and durable and to have that stamina and endurance. And so it is a balancing. Maybe it's a balancing of your anima and animus. So the second one, that was a little oof. That was a little oof. I'll say the second one is at 5935. So if you chose the other one, the D4, your card is Apocalypse. Oof. We got the Destroyer and Apocalypse. Okay. Wow. Fact number 48 didn't come to play. It's like, oh, well, we're gonna stain the beaches red. They're literally staining the beach red. I should have known. I should have known. Oh, I don't believe there's a fact here. I guess the other one didn't get it, but you're gonna get it. Sea creatures often produce millions of eggs because so many will be eaten by hungry predators. I mean, it looked like enough crabs made it here to me, but we don't see all the ones that got eaten either. And it's interesting because then that almost brings in an energy of like for everything that you do see, there are so many things that you don't see. Not you in particular, for everything that is observable, there are so many more things that are not. There's water in this card. It looks like there's a little bit of water right there on the sides of the hands. See it? Right there. And between the steps. With judgment, this makes me think about how the beach is, what do they call it? It's a boundary between worlds or realms because that's where we transition from the land to the water. The beach is that space of what does liminal transition mean? I don't know. And it's interesting then because it speaks of the things that are born there, I guess, right? Because the crabs migrate there, lay their eggs. On Christmas Island in the Indian Ocean, the ground turns red twice a year. Red forest living crabs migrate in huge swarms to the seashore, where their eggs are laid all at once. Then their tiny young return after a few months as larvae. And so it's like there's something that makes its way to the space of transition, to the space in between. It hatches there. And then after some time, it has to transition either back or forward. And it feels like, for some reason, that feels like it involves like dream space or astral space or something like that. It's almost like if you'd have the ability to, like, your manifestation is like your ability to manifest things is like high, or your ability to foresee things or whatever. But it's almost like it might not be able to transition from that etheric dream space to reality. It's like it makes it all the way to the boundary and the terminus. Is that the word I want? I feel like terminus is like the end. Well, yeah, I guess. But it might not necessarily come through. And the whole Kabbalah tree of life is here from Keter to Malkut. But two rays are coming out of Yasad. There. You see the two rays like that sort of have their origin there. And then there's the path that goes down to Malkut, which is to experience it. Maybe the terminus, though, it also involves like that space of waiting in a sense, where it's like not necessarily everything that we think we want, we end up actually wanting. And so there may be things that we have on the queue to be manifested into our reality, to be made physical and tangible. But then it's like we live more life, things change, or we just decide we don't want it. So then it's like it gets phased out or shot back into the ether too. And so maybe in that, if there is something that you are desiring strong, if there's something that you're in the space of manifesting and it's taken some time to come about and you can feel it, maybe, maybe it's not to question it at all. Maybe it's to ask yourself, like, if you really want it and why. And then that makes me sort of think of Rob's Core Wounds video, Rob Odinson's Core Wounds video, about some how sometimes or a lot of times the things that we desire, it said something about us that we desire a certain thing. Uh, it's also interesting. So that actually had to cross three because it had to go from the forest to the water to the beach because it said the red forest dwelling crabs. But it doesn't speak on anything about the forest. And it feels like the forest is the more interesting part. I feel like the other one was a little easier. This one, it feels like there's something within this energy. What was the bottom of the deck? The initiate. They have similar ish settings. And so maybe. Oh, look, and we have the silver and gold motif. In the initiate, only one snake has hatched. All right, in the initiate, it's the gold snake with the silver egg. Here we have the silver and gold. I think they're birds, but they're coiled like snakes. It's something that struggles to be born, but I don't know if struggle is necessarily the right word to use. Maybe this is, speaking of the terminus, maybe this is like at that chasm and it's about to cross over to the other side. Oh, I could see that because it's like it's at the edge, right? And then we see the step behind it here. And then, well, there's another edge and then another step. So yeah, it is at the gateway to one of those. And it feels like it's a moment of disconnection, but not disconnection because of the difference in the experience before and after. That's why it's disconnected. It's like non-linear. It's like we're going here and then all of a sudden we're up there. So there's something that happens in that. And that is the space of the phase change. But this is fire. This is fire, judgment. I don't know if fire necessarily has phases. Does fire have phases? I mean, I guess there's the spark, and then there's the flame, and then the blaze, I guess, and then the ash, or just the spark, the flame, and then the ash. So, in that way, it can have phases. This is it's also moon energy. And a lot of, or at least in some moon cards, what's more a lobster. So maybe that's the vice versa that really has it. But it feels like the crab coming out of the water. The ember, there you go. Thank you. The spark, the ember, the flame, and then the ash. Is this the ember? Um, yeah, I think it's the vice versa moon card that has the crab coming out of the water in the dark or at night. And it feels like that. Because again, there's something about that liminal space where all of this is born. There's something about the space, and then there's something also about the journey into the space and the journey out of the space. But that's more than a card. What else is on here? We have some Temple of the Moon up in the back. Well, we have the sun and the moon. So Ember has options, can be flame or ash. Oh, snap. True. Maybe it depends on where you're coming from and where you're going. Is this Phoenix energy? It could be. This could be Phoenix energy. Twin Phoenix. So it could be ecliptic, because there's the sun over here, or there's the moon, and then the sun. And the silver one is moon facing, the golden one is sun facing. Interesting. That's what I got. Alpha and Omega is here again, being that sort of liminal space in between the ending and the beginning. All right. And I would read these two together, but I ain't gonna do that. I think I'm using. Okay, it's focused now. I think. Yes, it is. All right. That was interesting. So last but never least. Oh wait, did I say I was picking three? Oof. Oof. Call me out, me. Am I narcissistic? Am I a narcissist? Wait. Well, I think sometimes it's good to have boundaries. I think one thing that I'm glad I was an RA. One of the years I was at Purdue. And then the summer after I was an RA, I got a leadership position. And the things that I'm so grateful for those opportunities for is that, like, before I became an RA, I was like, I don't know if I'm like authoritarian enough to be like a leader. And then, but when I became like a supervisor, I was like, I don't know if I'm bossy enough to be a boss. But those experiences taught me that I can be the like kind, empathic, or empathetic. I can be the kind, empathetic, chill dude that I am. and still like serve in a leadership role and position. Like I don't have to be super not me. And I was actually like appreciated, as you could probably imagine, being like the chill RA. That's like, okay, like I know that what you're doing is wrong. You know that what you're doing is wrong. I don't have to stand here and like try to treat you like a child or be like, you know what I mean? Like we both know, let's just do like I'm gonna do my job and then I'm gonna go about my day. You know what I mean? But anyway, it taught me that I can be me and be a leader. That I don't have to change. I don't have to be anymore. So speaking to that first one, I'm grateful to that experience for that. And it's actually because I was an RA that I wanted to supervise because I was like, oh, and turns out, I can be honest and forthright and, a whole bunch of stuff. So anyway, something about liminal spaces. The last one is number 83. 83 using deck number 6. They all got different decks. Cute. And one card. Lots of one carders, though. The 6th deck is the Threads of Fate Oracle Rose Edition. Oh, so 2 tarot and 2 oracle. I had 4 tarot decks and 2 oracle decks, so glad we got a nice mix. We got a nice balance. I think I'm going to read the fact first for this one, if you don't mind. Was that a card flipped over? Let's see, maybe not. I don't see it at first glance, so maybe not. Oh, I see the honeybee. Was that self-love? Oh, no, that's just the card back. LOL. Okay. 83. I'm going to pull the card off at the top of the deck. So, let's see. I'm going to have to do a lot of flipping. 83. The largest pilgrimage of all is the Hajj. Okay, y'all coming up with pilgrimage energy. And this is your picture. That is the cube. The cube-shaped Kaaba, surrounded by pilgrims during the Hajj, the biggest annual gathering of people in the world. The longest pilgrim. The longest why can't I read? The longest pilgrimage of all is the Hajj. For 6 days in the Islamic calendar's last month of the year, Mecca is host to 2 million pilgrims. Muslims from all countries and backgrounds come together to walk around the Kaaba, and Mecca's great mosque, Muslims' holiest point on earth. They also perform religious ceremonies. Do I have to do this? Oof. I feel like I'm starting to shake a little bit. I feel like I'm like buzzing a little bit. So one card. I'm just going to keep going until one card comes out. Ain't no Cindy math here, so just one card. And it's the 9. No, this is the 6. I was like, this is the 9-6 too. It's just the 6. Maybe it was the 9 when it came out. I don't know. Okay. I said I was going to take the card at the top. Oof. I forgot. Okay, I'll take the card at the top. The card is Underworld, and I'm trying to decide if I want to keep it. The bottom of the deck is Patience. Patience and Underworld. I was gonna say that makes me think of the Lower World card and the Mystical Shaman Oracle cards, but because like there's the thing in the lower world that feels like it's missing a light, and it feels like this would be like with the light on. Um, and then release is right under patience. So, oof, goodness. Um, let's talking about the Hajj 6 days in the last month of the year. For 6 days in the lot, I wish I could read, y'all. Mercury is on my Mercury in Pisces, and my natal Mercury is retrograde in my 12th house. Oof. For the longest pilgrimage, oh my gosh, the longest pilgrimage of all is the Hajj. For 6 days in the Islamic calendar's last month of the year, Mecca is host to 2 million pilgrims. Oh. Muslims from all countries and backgrounds come together to walk around the Kaaba and Mecca's great mosque, Muslims' holiest point on earth. They also perform religious ceremony. Oh, okay. So then it's like if this is, we'll leave the ladder. It's funny. It's funny you said that. I was at work yesterday, and maybe I was like, somebody left with the light. No, because yesterday I had a dentist appointment. I was at work, maybe it was Monday, and somebody left the light on or something, and I think they were gone. And I was like, they'll leave the light on for you, like Motel 6 or something. I don't know. Motel 6 will leave the light on for you. Popped into my mind for some reason. I don't remember. But it's almost like this is the underworld, and these are the hands of the divine, like reaching from that higher world into this one. But the hands are sort of like tied in ways. So it's almost like, oh, it's an energy of like there's something that's being resolved or something that's being solved in maybe imperceivable ways. They say the God works in mysterious ways, the divine moves in mysterious ways, the high priestess knows all the things that we don't know. So if something is moving in a space that we can't see or perceive it, the high priestess would know. And so I feel like that's the patience that eventually leads to the release behind the patience. But it's interesting. It felt like the entry was more about Mecca, or it was more about the Kaaba than it was about the Hajj. It mentioned the Hajj, but it didn't show people on the pilgrimage. It showed people after they reached that point. And it said, what, for 2 days? Mecca is host to, no, no, no. For 6 days, Mecca is host to 2 million pilgrims. 2 million pilgrims. It's because it said Mecca is host to 2 million pilgrims instead of 2 million people make the pilgrimage to Mecca. Like Mecca is the focus there. And so maybe in general, it's almost about the thinning of a veil or a time when something is more accessible. And it's interesting you mentioned Muslims from all countries and backgrounds come together in the holiest point on earth. I feel like there's a whole thing here that I'm just like not getting. I might not. Oh, the Kaaba is a cube shape. I was like, it's like reaching into a box. But it like this reminds me, it makes me think of like someone like reaching into a box. And it's like if there were a blade in the box to cut the thorns and these here, it's like without being able to fully see, trying to like free one's hands in a way. I did not expect the underworld to come out. Ooh. It feels like there's more to this. I'm sure. I've never personally had that experience, but yes. Oh, do they feel weird? Because I know there was a thing where it's like, reach into the box and tell me what this is. And it's like, is it like a snake? Oh my gosh. Or is it like a teddy bear? But I think also when we don't see the thing, not being able to see the thing, I said disconnect earlier in a different way. It's supposed to feel like eyeballs. Ew. Okay. Oh, oh. Oh, yeah. Okay, I get it now. Um, but it's like not being able to see the thing disconnects us from the experience. And so there's a sense that validates another sense. And it's the combination of senses that gives us the ability to perceive the thing as it is. And it's interesting because at first I read this as the divine reaching through to us, and how, like, because we have free will and stuff like that, the divine isn't necessarily going to just intervene if unless it's a space where the divine like needs to, right? But it's like if we ask for intervention, then that's one thing because we're asking for it. But this might actually be the other way around, where it's like, excuse me, where it's like if we reach, I know it says underworld, but it's like if we reached into the divine, into a higher space, then our our ability to maneuver and operate would be drastically reduced if we're not acclimated and acclimatized to operating in that space. And it's almost like to reach that space but then have to come back to reality makes reality feel like the underworld. And then so this is not weird, but it's like so we kind of sort of get hooked on those like high vibrational spaces, and it's almost like it we form an addiction to it. It's like using the divine as a crutch. Not as a crutch, but like using it to escape reality, or those realms, those spaces, to escape reality. Oof. And it's not related to the Islamic faith at all, but it almost reads as parasitic. Oh, it makes me think of one of those videos. Rob did a video a long time ago, not that long ago, because I was working. So within the past 6 months, um, it was about when you connect to higher dimensional beings, like be mindful of what you connect to. But this also made me think of Shayna's video, the Sagittarius Collective one. When the Bardo came out and she was like, "Is this what you want, Mom? Do you want to be stuck here?" The thing about like, if we're not ready for this space, if we try to get there too soon, then it's like it can actually be more cumbersome than where we are now, because it feels like it'd be easy to be overwhelmed by the things that would be asked of us. And it's not anything asked of us in a way that anyone is doing it. It's just like the life itself. Like, if you have 10 Lamborghinis and a mansion and all this stuff, there's a cost associated with paying for all that. It's like that lifestyle itself comes with the price. No one's asking for any more money, but to maintain it, you got to be able to afford it. Yeah, I think it was like but I think in his video it was like kind of sort of like parallel dimensional, or even in people. We can view some people as being like more gifted than we are, and they can use their spiritual gifts to do some not great things to people. Some people do, unfortunately, use their gifts. It's very like make a display to sort of like welcome people in, and then in those spaces where they're performing spiritual services, energetic services, or whatever, and then patients would come in and it's like, you don't have to resort to this, or not resort to it. It's like you don't have to rush it. Like, take your time, you'll get there when you get there. And when you get there in your own time, it'll be so much more. Because it's almost like, let's say that a higher dimensional space is infinite, and within those higher dimensional spaces we create our own space. And so if you access that higher dimensional space through someone else, then it's like you're in their space rather than being in your own space. And there may be like realizations and revelations that it's meant for you to have. There may be like gifts and abilities that you might have that the person, like your hierophant or the person standing in the space of the hierophant at that time, either they don't necessarily have access to those gifts and abilities, or they don't access those gifts and abilities in the same way. Something about it is different. And so that's how we can actually like limit ourselves as we get into that, as we go into that. And then a lot of times, especially like if we through teaching or through people, we pick up their limitations. Oh, it went away. Yeah. And then maybe too, it's like, I don't know. Those are spirit questions. Spirit would have to answer that. And see, that's what I so because there's an energy in this patience card. It feels like it's getting bigger and bigger. And so it's like it's going to occupy that space. It's like it's going to be big enough for that space when it gets there. I didn't necessarily expect this. I I talk like I come into anything with expectations. For a lot of things, I have no expectation. And I remember talking with my dad one time, and he was like, "What? Like you have to have an expectation. Like you're human. Like we all have expectations." I was like, "I just don't. How am I supposed to have an expectation about a place I've never been to? I wouldn't even begin to know what to expect." So I just sit down and I'm like, "Oh, here we go." That is a turtle shell or a tortoise shell. It might be a little more tortoise than turtle. Or no, no, no. It might be more turtle than tortoise because it looks flat. I think that is a turtle shell. I think tortoise shells are like domed, right? Turtle shells are more streamlined because they swim in the water. Maybe releasing expectations is something that also needs to happen. Because again, release is behind patience. Oh, it's almost like this is the seed. These are the roots. This is the blossoming. Like the frog pops out of the turtle shell. It's like, whoa, how did that happen? That don't look like a tadpole to me. So still too, and I think the second one got it. It's just an invitation to get to know the divine for yourself. Different people from different countries, from different backgrounds, all make the same pilgrimage. But it's like from the outside, they're all making that same journey. But on the inside, to each person, it means something different. It means something special. It means something unique to them. And I think sometimes that can be a little lost, especially when there are things going on in the collective that we might all be experiencing, or a lot of us might be experiencing. But it's to not forget that sometimes, too, to allow that experience to be like special for you, to allow your experience to be your experience. Because again, many people make that journey, but it's something that happens within them. And maybe when we connect back to that, that was the disconnect. It was that sudden leap. Because then it's almost like the hands can reach in and not necessarily pull us out, but maybe they can just like pull us through the floop portal, the floop gate. Okay, sure. I'll leave it there. That feels like something. Okay. So I'm gonna take these. Is that ascension? I might just take that as confirmation. Because look, you see, ascension is a beautiful energy, but you see those little threads that eventually lead to that. I don't know. Don't ask me. No problem. I feel like I want to do more. I'll do a bonus one. And I'm not even going to timestamp it. So I don't need. Oof. I'm looking at the decks I still have left, and I'm like, do I want to do this? Yeah, I'll do a bonus one. Number 45. How do I do a. I can't not timestamp it. Well, I guess, yeah, it's fine. I wish I could like hide a timestamp. It's I could just end this and do another video unlisted. But then I don't know. Anyway, it's fine. It's fine. 45. Oh, ooh, we went underwater. There's a mountain range under the Atlantic Ocean. Are we going to Atlantis? The mountain chain is 6,000 kilometers long and lies halfway between the Americas on one side and Europe and Africa on the other. The seabed is growing from volcanic rock. The seabed is growing from volcanic rock. If that ain't Rob, this is how Earth is made. But it's still underwater, so oof. You like to hide them, yeah. I feel like I have about a 85% chance at intuiting, or maybe 90, 95 is actually kind of high. Actually, it might be like 99%. I have a fairly high chance of being able to intuit when the sign is going to get a special reading. I'm just like, oh yeah, Taurus is getting the bonus. I was like, Pisces is definitely not getting the bonus. Pisces is getting tricked. I don't know. It just, I'm like, yeah. It's like a no brainer. It's like, yeah. Taurus is getting it today. Or nah, Taurus ain't getting it today. Sorry. Anyway, the seabed is growing from volcanic rock, forcing the two sides of the Atlantic further apart at a rate of up to 10 centimeters a year. As the seabed is pressed, it crumbles up into mountains. So I don't know if we necessarily get an image on this one. Maybe not. Maybe not. Oh my gosh. So here's the like, I don't believe it bonus fact. Oh, I guess I didn't show y'all the picture. I don't think this is necessarily what this one was, but that's the background if you want, if you care. Um, it says before ships had engines, the oceans were a quieter place for animals to live. Whales could hear their mates calling from the other side of the world. What? And then people had to build all these noisy boats, and now the whales don't even know. Whales don't. That's why Marlin couldn't find Nemo. It's because of the butt. Ooh, almost knocked these cards on the floor. What deck am I gonna use? Number 3. Oh, it's the tiny one again. Okay. And how many cards am I gonna get? 1 card. 3 cards, sorry. 3. This is a 369. 2 threes is a Cindy Math 6 and standard algebraic reduction. Numerological reduction gives us a 45-9. So it's a 9 Cindy Math 6-3. Yeah, I was like, what? From around the world. Maybe it speaks to water's ability to transmit. Do a Tesla trap reading. I would have to. I'm not taking all those. It said 1 card, not 3. I know I'm following the rules. Yes. I would have to look up the spread and everything. Ooh, it's the Chariot. Bottom of the deck is the Sun. Bonus reading is coming out with the Chariot and the Sun. The Page of Cups is under the Sun. There we go. I'm waiting for it to focus so I can see it on the TV. If you focus. Focus. There we go. Oh, the Chariot. Oh, this is literally it. It's almost like as the 2 horses move away, the dude pops up. As the seabed is pulled apart, it crumples up into the mountains. The mountain is the man. Isn't that Game of Thrones? There's a character named the Mountain. I don't know anything else about Game of Thrones, but I know that someone is named the Mountain. We're going to see what he's like. I'm going to spoil myself right now because I haven't seen Game of Thrones. GOT. The Mountain Goats. What? George or Gregor Clegane? Sir Gregor Clegane. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's the Knight of House Clegane, the older brother of Sandor, and a notoriously fearsome warrior with a tendency toward extreme and excessive violence. So, the mountain that rides. What? Oh gosh. Oof, he's not Chiron. Chiron was immortal. So Chiron lived with that wound for a long time. The mountain is not immortal. He is no Chiron. Um, what was that? What was the fact? As the let me read. There's a mountain range under the Atlantic Ocean. The mountain chain is 16,000 kilometers long and lies halfway between the Americas on one side and Europe and Africa on the other. The seabed is growing from volcanic rock, forcing the two sides of the Atlantic further apart at a rate of up to 10 kilometers a year. As the seabed is pressed, it crumples up into mountains. So this is a meeting place of fire and water. We got the volcanic activity under the ocean that leads to Earth. But where's the air? Is there any air here? The air was the spear. Oof, apparently. Um, I don't know. It is almost mercurial, the chariot. I guess that makes sense. Even though Apollo was the one that drove the chariot. But Mercury is, I say it's mercurial because I feel like that's the little thing that Hermes is like. It feels like Hermes for whatever reason. And Hermes is Mercury. I don't know. Um, it feels like there's a lot of unseen energy. Maybe it's the birth of telepathy. Wait, oh snap! Because it happens deep. It happens at the ocean floor or the sea floor. That's the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. It happens at the ocean floor, and the mountains are underwater. So none of that is seen. The chariot was the one card. Oh, so maybe there's an energy here about the things that go unnoticed. It's like the things that we do. Okay, yeah. It's like the things that we do. I had to take the other card back off the table. Well, it's not off the table, but I had to remember which one was the one card. And it's the chariot. So there's an energy of like it's building, it's progressing, it's growing in size and magnitude. It's one of the larger, at least one of the larger mountain ranges in the world, but it's underwater, so we don't see it. Can't necessarily climb those like you can climb the Andes or the Rockies, right? Um, and it feels like the sun at the bottom of the deck is when all of this stuff, it's like it's seen. because up until this point it isn't. It's like the tip of the iceberg. It ends up being the peak of an underwater mountain range. And we just thought it was a chunk of ice floating in the water. It's like, no, there's a whole range of mountains behind that. That might not even be, well, I guess I feel like it would be the tallest one if it's the only one over water. There might be another one hundreds of thousands of kilometers away, or hundreds of thousands of miles, or thousands of kilometers. Okay. There might be another one thousands of kilometers away. So it is very like making moves in the dark, or like the not necessarily seeing the fruits of all of your labors, but it's going to come into a time in a season where it's going to be seen. Okay. Cute. Final messages. Because I ain't been on here long enough already. I was like, I ain't done like a 5 hour live in a minute. And it ain't. I didn't even timestamp number 4. Are you serious? Oh my gosh, I didn't timestamp number 4. I'll just rewatch it. It's fine. I'll say it was probably about an hour and 10 minutes. Final messages. I'm gonna say an hour or 57:30 because I still gotta type this. An hour 57:30. 57:30. Okay, and we'll start with this one. What is 83 though? No, that was 45. What is 45? Hold up. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let me see what 45 is. 45 is the 10 of Earth. The 10 of. Oh, speaking of the 10 of Earth, we got the Knight of Pentacles and the Page of Cups. Bottom of the deck is the Hanged Man, which is a tiger, El Tigre, with justice behind it. The Hanged Man and justice. This is something that takes time. It's just like it takes time. I feel like there are things that the divine can do immediately. There are some things that change. There are other things that take time. That's it. Page of Cups, Knight of Pentacles. It takes time. It's not immediate. It doesn't happen overnight. And it's important to tend to the details along the way. Pay attention to the details. The details matter. Because after all is said and done, it's like you want it to be a match. You want it to be something that you like with that justice. These things take time. Okay. Short and sweet. And I use this for the first one and the bonus. What was the first one? That was number 5. Half man, half beast. Half man, half lion. It was the Sphinx. Pay attention to details. Virgo ears perk up. Pisces obliviousness sets in. Wait. Details. Ascension and patience. Next, I'm moving to the Threads of Fate Oracle cards. If you watch these, I hope you find something of resonance, or maybe you learn something. I don't know. You know, I never know. I've been not knowing what I do. I was doing all science readings on this channel when I had like 3 people watching. I'm like, I don't know who I'm talking to. I don't know who this is for, but I don't know who's gonna find this video in the future. You know what I mean? I don't know who's watching me. So I just go. I just say it. I just do it. Hopefully it resonates in some way, shape, or form. Okay. I kind of miss it. I kind of miss going live for hours. Just me. And maybe like, I guess too much hasn't changed. Maybe I'll go live one day and just like turn the chat off. So if I turn the chat off, that's why. Exactly. Higher perspective with the Magi at the bottom of the deck. Wait. Interesting. I love that higher. And paradox. Paradox behind the Magi. I love that higher perspective came out, especially because of 4. There's this is beyond me. But I can say what it feels like. Higher perspective, the Magi and paradox. It feels like there's something about like sorry. There's something about you see the eye on the earth. It's like there's divine energy here. Excuse me. It feels like threads of divine energy that exist in the natural world, in the day to day. And the Magi is the one who's able to take those and weave them into something using this higher perspective. And it's an energy, it feels like distillation. When it's like you boil off it's either distillation or what's another one? Some kind of purification. You can do it by boiling it, you can do it by heating it. You can use any element, maybe all elements, to get to the truth of the thing and to understand the paradoxical nature of that as it manifests in different ways. But it feels like the Magi is the one that can see the truth and not like bend it. but it can weave truths together to create some kind of tapestry. But it feels like it's all right here. It's all already here. Okay. Cool work. See, and then 4 was about, those higher, because it was about the higher realms. And it's like if you and it's interesting that the hand in the underworld the hands were tied, because it's like if you get access to these realms, access to these spaces before you know how to operate within them, it's not going to give you the mobility that you think it might, just because it's higher, right? It's like you could be in kindergarten, or you could be in college. You can be, and then it's like there's something about, like, if you're in kindergarten, there's like, oh, like I'm gonna go to middle school and be one of the big kids. If you're in elementary, then it's like, oh, I'm gonna go to high school if you're in middle school, because the high schoolers are cool. But it's like if you, as a first grader, walk into a sixth grade classroom, how much of that are you going to understand? You know what I mean? How much of that information is going to be useful? How well are you going to be able to perform? And so, again, it's like there's no shame in the time it takes us to get wherever we're going. Because when we get there, we'll be able to do stuff. Okay. That's my thought face. I just had a thought. Here comes a thought that might alarm you. When someone said sorry. And how it harmed you. Things that you do. I felt to be charming. Mm-hmm. Suddenly swarming. You're losing sight. You're losing touch. Excuse me. Okay. Oh, it's the 7 of Swords. The 7 of Swords, the 8 of Cups, and the Herald of the Winds. I'm not taking it. Sorry. I've just made the executive decision to not. And if they really come out, they'll do it again. Cards have a funny way of doing stuff like that. Oh, Ace of Cups. Okay. Bottom of the deck is the Hierophant. This one came out for. That was the second one, right? Did this one come out for the first one? Or the third one? This one came out for the third one because I had the Destroyer and then I had Apocalypse. The Ace of Cups was at the bottom of the deck on the first one, though. For the first one, I remember. Oh, look at this. See, I was looking at this earlier. It's not. There you go. Is that the Hierophant? Oh, I forgot all about the Hierophant. This is the Hierophant. Literally in this deck, it's the Hierophant. And oof, and then the devil is behind the Hierophant. Oof. But anyway, it's the Hierophant. She talks about it being the Hierophant in this deck. The Hierophant in the Vitruvian edition is very much not the energy of the Hierophant in the Revelations edition. Shout out to Lord Ganesha. Avi. Oh, snap. Look. The Hierophant is sitting on the lotus. And then there are lotuses in the water. I don't understand this. I feel like it just keeps going. And I'm like, why? But it's fine. The Chancellor, Justice, the card slid. I actually saw Justice at the cut when I was shuffling. Oh, that's the pearl. The jewel is in the lotus. Shout out to Om Mani Padme Hum. Why can I not Kuan Yin? I was like, girl, I can remember the mantra, but I can't remember her name. The jewel is in the lotus, but it's coming. Oh. Reem. It was the rare gazelle. Was that Taurus? No, it was collective. It's the rare gazelle. She talked about the well and how as the well fills up, there's the thing that rises to the surface. The jewel rises to the surface as the cup fills with water. Was that Taurus? It might have been Reem's Taurus video. It might have been another one. It was probably a different one. It was the collective one? Okay. I was like, yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that wasn't Taurus. I don't remember what it was. It's fine. And it also, it's interesting though, because it's the opposite of the crow. It's the opposite of the crow that drops the stones in the well to drink the water. Because it was the stone that raised the water because of the volume that it displaces. But here it's the water that raises the pearl. This is a whole thing though. Because you can see there's an aura. There's a white aura around the dove, around the pearl, around the cup. Did this come out? I feel like this came out at one point. I don't remember the cards or the reading, but it was the energy of the divine sparking the divine. It's like something comes in and sparks the divine. Speaking of the phases of fire, it's interesting because I was thinking water. I was like, water has phases: solid, solid, liquid, gas. Earth would have phases, right? Solid, liquid, gas. You get earth, mud, and dust clouds. And that was the ember. See, but that's what Hierophant energy is supposed to be. Supposed to be. It sparks that which is within us, and then we go on and we discover the divine for ourselves. That's what this is. It's a different kind of Hierophant. And it's interesting that the devil is behind the Hierophant because it's like that's one of the things that some, I'm not going to say all, old Hierophant energies didn't do. They didn't necessarily empower the individual to know the divine for themselves. Or it didn't, it's like there was always a figurehead of that rather than it just being the divine. It's like it's this person who is celebrated for their ability to connect to the divine. And again, it's connecting to the divine through their space. So it comes with their own limitations and their restrictions and everything that, especially if we're talking about individuals, it's like it might not be for that person individually, but just because it's not for them doesn't mean it's not necessarily for someone else. The Ace of Cups is the thing that the devil energy was missing. Because again, it's like, oh, how to find it didn't, it was more about creating power through that space for it. So yeah, this one right here. Yes. Don't ask me what it is. Or is it a moon? Who knows? I've seen so many things about Jupiter's moons. I saw she shared it with me, I think. Oh no, I should have shared it with her. It was a picture. It was like Earth with the moon. You've never seen it? Yeah, it's always been there, just chilling. You'll see the stars twinkle, but you've never seen this whole planet right here. Uh, it was like there was some planet and Earth had the moon. It was like, oh, congratulations. Are you going to have another one? And it was like, no, I think I'll just keep one. I don't want to end up like Jupiter. And then it showed Jupiter with a whole bunch of little moons all over the place. And then I saw something else and it talked about Jupiter's moons. And I thought Ganymede, but I don't know if Ganymede is one of Jupiter's moons. It is. Ganymede is a satellite of Jupiter. It's the largest and most massive of the solar system's moons. The ninth largest object in the solar system, and the largest without a substantial atmosphere. What's special about Ganymede? Jupiter's moon Ganymede is the largest satellite in the solar system, larger than Mercury and Pluto, and only slightly smaller than Mars. It would be easily classified as a planet if it were orbiting the sun rather than Jupiter. I love it. Not only is the largest moon in our solar system bigger than the planet Mercury and the dwarf planet Pluto, but NASA's Hubble Space Telescope has found the best evidence yet for an underground saltwater ocean on Ganymede. The ocean is thought to have more water than all the water on Earth's surface. Yes and no. The camera is like full on. Usually the camera is like there. So usually it's like this, and I'll be sitting a little bit more over here. So, but yeah, the tripod is in a different space today. Ganymede is the youth kidnapped by Jupiter to be his lover and cupbearer. Yeah, because he was so like beautiful or gorgeous or whatever. So Jupiter's like, you want to live forever and serve us ambrosia? I don't know if Ganymede really had a choice, but wasn't he? Yeah, you said youth. I was gonna be like, wasn't he a boy? Who was the one that maybe I'm getting it mixed up. Oh, it was the one that one. I feel like it was Venus, but maybe it wasn't. Somebody that one of the goddesses, I'm pretty sure, was infatuated with. And so they got immortality, but they didn't get eternal youth. So they got old. They were just eternally old. Who was that? Greek myth, immortality, old. Let's see if that works. Tithonus. What? No. The lover of Eos, goddess of the dawn. What is the oldest thing in Greek mythology? Was it Tithonus? Okay. I guess it was. I would not have remembered this. Who was that? Eos? She then asked Zeus to grant Tithonus immortality, but did not think of asking to grant him eternal youth too. As a result, Tithonus aged and did not die, resulting in his strength wilting away to the point that he could no longer move his arms. Where is Tithonus now? I love that question. Yeah, Eos. The Titan goddess of dawn kidnapped him along with Ganymede in order to make them her lovers. She then asked Zeus to grant Tithonus immortality, but did not think of asking to grant him eternal youth too. As a result, he aged and did not die, resulting in his strength wilting away to the point that he could no longer move his arms. All he could do was babble continuously. In the end, he turned into a cicada, hoping that death would come for him as well. Tithonus and Eos had two sons, Memnon and Amathion. Memnon participated in the Trojan War on the side of the Trojans, but was killed by Achilles. Eos asked Zeus to make her son immortal, which the god did. Amathion, on the other hand, became the king of Ethiopia and was later killed by Heracles. So there you go. I knew that there was someone else associated with immortality. How your kids see you? Oof. Eternal. What else did I just see though? I thought I just. Oh, where's Tithonus now? I love that question. Oh, darn it. Wait. Oh, wait. Here it is. Here it is. No, it's not here. Oof. Anyway. Yes. So that's this. Is that it? I think that's it. The Ace of Cups is the purifying. Oh, the purifying. That's interesting. Because that's what I was talking about with the Magi and higher perspective about how it's able to purify somehow its perception of the natural world and able to weave truths together to, I don't know if it's bypass paradox or it's able to utilize the laws of paradox to create within the system. Yeah, I remember the cicadas in the 18, 17-year cycles. Oh, what am I doing? Who was that? It's the Seeker. Do cicadas do stuff? I feel like I don't see them move too much. They just like scream on the tree. Okay. Last but not least, it's the Mystical Shaman. Oracle cards. I see the Holy Mountain and water. Water in the Holy Mountain, talking about the 45. Mountain range under the Atlantic. Atlantis? I'm just fine. 17-year cycles and some 13-year cycles. Oh. Pachamama came out immediately with the drum at the bottom of the deck. Now, I don't know nothing about Pachamama, and I don't have the book. Pachamama, though, came out when I did the runes and these cards together. Pachamama came out with an energy that was like the cost of creation. I think it came out with Bjorken, the birthing rune. Bjork. It's like the energetic cost of creation. Like after you push out a baby, I'm assuming um, it takes a lot out of you. And then the drum is here. I don't know. The jaguar is behind the drum. And it's raining now. Pachamama and the drum. It makes me think of on boats, on the boats with the oars, how they would have the drum to keep all of the rowers in time to move it forward. And I guess Earth is kind of Pachamama's daughter. The moon is called Mama Killa. Mama Killa. What? It's interesting because it's like that kind of looks like the moon in the drum a little bit. It's moon colored. It's all silvery and cratery. Oh snap! Hey Twitty, how you doing? Oh, you already answered. Oh, it means mother moon. Gotcha. It feels like Earth is like kind of moving through the cosmos. I mean, the sun is moving and it's bringing the solar system. We're all moving, but we're orbiting the sun as we move. I'm gonna get a different one because I have the power. Ooh, Time Master. Okay, that's some energy that I can get behind. Because I'm like, okay, I Time Master and the Ancient Ones. Oof. And we become silhouettes when our bodies finally go. Ancient Ones in fire. Okay, let's try this again. Pachamama will come back on. You just woke up from a long nap. I hope I'm about to take a long sleep. I have the power to decide. Oof. Who is this? Oh, look at that. Mama Kila. I just saw your mama. Oh, goodness. Can I keep a card on the table, please? Oh. Oh, well, now it's in reverse. So I have 37 and 53. The sun and the moon. Bottom of the deck is the Time Master. So this is obviously going back to that ecliptic apocalypse energy. And look, they're on the same sides too. The moon on the left, the sun on the right. And then the Time Master at the bottom of the deck. Um, I had a dream that I was on a plane and things just got like we were flying. And then all of a sudden, it's like a bunch of stars going by. It's pitch black. We had like traveled, we were traveling through a wormhole. And people were like complaining as if the pilot had any control over that. I'm like, really? We're like traveling through this wormhole right now, and y'all want to complain about how y'all ain't gonna land on time wherever? Like, come on, people. That dream was wild. I can still almost remember like seeing it just get like super cosmic-y. I'm like, okay. But anyway, thank you. It's a butterfly with a loop. I was at work and I wore these and I was like, these earrings symbolize how change is the only constant in life, but sometimes change is exactly what we need. So oh, I was gonna do something. Just personally with my birth chart. I was gonna and I don't know if they already do it in Vedic astrology. They might, but like put each planet at the first house. Well, I guess there were a few. So it's like because I'm having my Saturn return. So like if I cast my Saturn return chart and then my last Jupiter return chart, like all of the return charts basically, and then also to like put that planet like if Saturn was in my first house, then how would my chart change? I don't know. Am I gonna do it? No. This energy is beyond me. It's like I see it, but I don't. I'm putting it back. We're getting another one. You're on your solar eclipse tunnel, third return this year. Oh, snap. Oh, like the, because I remember you talking about there's the different series. I feel like my ear is starting to get warm. Let's go. Ah! Oof. I just saw this card when I was shuffling. The Council. The Council and the Andean Cross. It's my left ear. It's starting to get a little warm. Like, really? Can we like ground this, please? The rattle is at the bottom of the deck. I feel like these are just going like more and more like outside, and I'm trying to like, you know, do the opposite. Maybe I'm just not gonna get a message from these. I might just put them back. This might be it. Oh, let's bring it to Earth. Earth, Earth, please. Oh, the ancient ones. They appear again. Okay. I don't know. I feel like there isn't anything in this deck I could get and just be like, oh yeah. I feel like it's either like gonna take me there or we go nowhere. But that's fine. We'll see. We'll see. It's very that energy. And I'm like, what's that got to do with me? It's like I'm trying to do something nice and simple, please. Because at first it's like it's about the Earth moving through the cosmos and Earth going through its stages as it evolves as a planet and as we evolve as creatures on this planet. And then it's like it zooms out to the Time Master with the sun and the moon who like has the ability to, it's almost like he winds something and the sun and the moon are like spinning in the sky. And then we go outside of that to the council and the Andean cross overseeing like everything. It's like we get like more and more zoomed out from Earth, and that's the opposite of what I would like. Please. It's gonna be whatever it is. And now it's not talking to me, which is fine. I'm gonna give it 3 more shuffles, and if don't nothing come out, don't nothing come out. 2 more. 1 more. Okay, the sorcerer is at the bottom of the deck. The sorcerer is 48. Number 3 was 48, and that was about the crabs, right? Yeah, it was about the crabs. On Christmas Island in the Indian Ocean, the ground turns red twice a year. Red forest living crabs migrate in huge swarms to the seashore where their eggs are laid all at once. Oh, maybe they don't go from forest to sea to shore. Maybe they should go from forest to shore. So, I feel safe pulling the card at the top of the deck. It's corn. Corn and the sorcerer. Create your own fortune, I guess. I think, though, it's almost like sorcerer. This is the energy. It's like sorcerers are made and not born. It's like it's cultivated, it's grown. Safe with corn, yeah. I rarely ever understand it outside of abundance, but And it's like it's all of the experiences that the sorcerer has that furthers their development. I mean, they can be born, but it's about going further. Maybe there's some innate sorcery that one is born with, but the great ones are cultivated. They're grown. And so it's almost comes in with the question of our experiences. Not a question, but it's like us making the choice to grow from our experiences. Maybe not all of them, because some experiences are just like, why, you know? Uh, but others, it's how we sort of like respond to life and move forward in life. So, lastly but not leastly, I don't like crabs. I'm not a huge fan of seafood, though. I'm gonna roll these. So we got a 4 0. We literally got triple zeros, which is 100, I guess. No, I think I do it as 0 here, and 3. So that is Air the Fool, I believe. I'm pretty sure. Air the Fool and the Heart. The future is born in the heart. Oh. See, I feel like it's either. It's fine. It's fine. There's something about the heart space communicating with the world. It's like if you've ever felt like super in your heart, or when your heart is like in that activated chakra mode, and you can kind of sort of feel it like reaching out to the world around you. You can feel it like opening up to all that is outside of you. And you can kind of sort of feel that energy just like go through the heart space, where you can feel that like that's the part of you that's communicating or in communion with the greater universe at large. It's like that energy. But I want to say it's a little more pointed. It's like it has a little bit more of a purpose because of the Fool here. Maybe that's just like the language of the universe. And it's learning to speak the language of the universe. To commune with it, to communicate with it. Um, Interesting. I think Eve did say no, that was for the bonus, the birth of telepathy. I feel like I got all the way to the end of this and I'm still not done. I'm not satisfied. I got 2 decks here I didn't use. I don't want to leave it like that. But also at the same time, I don't want to go any further because I feel like I'm just gonna get further and further and further down the rabbit. And I'm not trying to. I might try. Oh, I forgot to roll this one. I forgot to roll the D8. It's 5. The throat. Oh, well, yeah, that's the communication. Got it. Let me find my phone. Oh, excuse me. Who is it? Earth Mason? Is that Earth? Yeah, Earth Mason and Leche. The grim harvest seeking balance, profound heart wound bleeding, grief pouring, emotion soaring, tears raining down as bitter icy stones lashing ceaselessly, pain after pain after pain, and you cannot explain it away. Feel it, bleed it, pour it all out until you and it are almost dead from exhaustion. Now see how pain makes a perfect space for a new treasure in your heart. I'm assuming if you send it to me, like I can share these. I'm sure you'd be like, yeah, right? I can share these, right? Russ? And Earth Mason. Earth power, personal power, thine alone, carved in stone before thy birth in the other place. Sigil of the cosmic gift that awaits birthing through you, by you, for you. Esoteric secrets of the full moon, eclipse where worry and ruin are dissolved by the light of being seated in the earth. The earth magus, the oldest sacral cycle completed, shadows burnished, refurnishing the soul, nature spirits, and you, one. Yeah, I knew you'd say yeah. So this is Leche or Leche, Leech. And then this one is Earth Mason. And this is the new artistic direction and the poetry that Russ has been doing to incorporate into the runes. This is the next iteration. Stop! Go away! No, I didn't. Um, I did not. You could have texted me. Why didn't you just text me? Maybe you did. Oh, you didn't. Oof. If you still want to go, get something to eat though. Oh, it's already 9 o'clock. We can go. Yeah, that's my little brother. Did it really? Yeah. See, I told you. I had like tingles and shingles, not shingles, tingles before he even sent them. I was like, oof. But I like the part where it said, where worry and ruin are dissolved by the light of being seated in the earth, and then the leech emotional bleed came out before that. What is that emoji? Well, tell me. You can call him Muffin. Don't call him by that first word. Anyway, maybe that was it. I feel satisfied now. I think that scratched my another card itch. So thank you, Russ, for sharing those with us. Um, has that been a theme running through these? I can see part of 4 and the first 3 being leech, having more leech energy. Um, and then the others tending towards Earth Mason. But the second one is like, because Earth Mason is like that seated energy. And the second one is all y'all. The second one is all y'all. That's all I'm gonna say. I think I'm done. I still need to go back and watch to get the timestamp for 4, but they'll be up. I hope you all have a good whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. Thank you all for being here so much. Whatever this was, I feel like I want another one. I'll just get one more fact. And it's number 68. I'm not going to pull anything. We're just going to learn one more thing before we go. 68 is there's a lake as old as the dinosaurs. Lake Vostok. Oh, snap. I remember this. 68? Okay. I was like, oh, I didn't even read a year. I guess I was like, there's a lake as old as the dinosaurs, and then I read that's my birth year. Sorry. Not saying you're born as old as the dinosaurs, of course. There's a lake as old as the dinosaurs, like Vostok near the South Pole, has been cut off from the rest of the world for millions of years under a layer of Antarctic ice. Are they still working on this? Scientists are working out how to drill 4 kilometers down to that lake under the ice without disturbing any life that may survive there. I think that was my senior year of high school, so 11 years ago. 11 or 12. 11 years ago. I read that they were drilling in Lake Vostok to try to like get an ice core to observe things as they go further and further and further back in time through that ice. And I guess if they pull up an ice core that's east. No problem, Janelle. That's east energy. But that was 11 years ago. I wonder if they got it, or if they're still drilling, or if they're still trying to find whatever. Now, of course, there's a part of me that's like, if there's anything that can form with, like, I've seen enough sci-fi, like, oh, here's this spore from millions of years ago that was frozen in Antarctic ice that has now thawed and has reactivated. And this ancient bacteria has come back to life. But anyway, I guess that's it. The Thing? Is that The Thing? I've never seen The Thing. There was an episode of not Fringe, Eureka. Ancient Seeds. Oh, snap. I didn't even think about that, Twitty. Talking about the Earth Mason. And then the Ancient Seeds. From the then that goes back to the Ancient Ones. And it goes back to all of that energy. Also goes back to the Ace of Cups being the thing that sparks the seed of the divine within. Isn't The Thing old though? Because you know how like old scary isn't like, it's easier to see it as not real because of the graphics. Goes back to the beginning of creation. That's my face. See, I feel like that's where there was a TV series about all this weird magic in an Arctic town, and it was an old bacteria affecting people's perceptions. You want to decide? Oof, Eve, you know what? I've just decided to trust you. I'm going to trust you and assume it's too scary for me. Even though I'm a lot more tolerant to horror now than I was in the past. But also at the same time, my horror crutch is gone now. So my horror crutch used to be my eyes are so bad in the dark that I can't see what's going on in a horror movie to even know what I'm supposed to be scared of. But now I was like, oof, I gotta watch those details in 4K now. And it's like, oof, my crutch is gone. I can see the things that I didn't know I was to be afraid of. But yeah, I feel like that's where um the mystical shaman oracle cards. Oh, it's the mystical shaman oracle cards. I shouldn't have been surprised. I really shouldn't have been surprised. It was called Fortitude. So is it like, is that a big part of the plot where you're like, oh my gosh, it's all this magic, and then you're like, oh no, they're just hallucinating because of some ancient bacteria? Oof, I would hate, not hate. I feel like hate is a strong word, but I feel like it's like one of those shows where it's like all this cool stuff is happening, and then you find out, oh, somebody was dreaming. It was all just a dream. None of it was real. None of it matters. And you're like, what? Okay. But anyway, it's been 3 hours. So I'm going to go. Again, I hope you all have. It was very Nordic noir. I might have to check it out. I hope you all have an excellent whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality, and whatever you chose. Muffin's hungry. I'm hungry. I'm kind of not hungry, but I'm hungry. The mystical shaman is based around Incas, not the Aztecs. I trust you because I don't know either way. I wouldn't know either way. And whichever you chose, I hope you find something of resonance. You woke up hungry. Um, yeah, and I guess that's it. Oh, now the hunger is there. I was like starving. I felt there's a kind of hungry. Have you have you ever been that like insatiable hungry? Like I was like that yesterday. I was eating lunch and I'm like, I'm still hungry. I'm like, this is not filling me up. And I was that kind of hungry before I went live. And then when I was live for those 3 hours, I didn't even think about it. But now the hunger is starting to kick back in. And I was like, what does this mean? You're still on liquid food, so you're endlessly hungry. Oof. Oh, thank you, Twitty. Hopefully you can. Is it good though? Hopefully you get some good food too. Hopefully the time for solid food comes soon. All right, we're gonna work out something to eat. I was like, am I like hitting a growth spurt or something? Because I'm hungry. I hunger. I am hunger. Yes. Solid food, footing, and the 500th video live.